so detective, to continue on, we're still on states 465, some of those video clips. We're going to speed along watching some of these, but just so that the court is clear, in observing movement, were you in any way trying to make an identification of who is seen on this video?
No, I did not and do not believe it's possible to make an identification.
Nonetheless, when looking at it in totality, particularly with the vehicles, was it helpful in developing your timeline?
Yes, it was.
Okay, very good. So we will continue on looking next at states 465H. And I will jump ahead to 21:37 and 28 seconds. We'll just play a few seconds here. Pausing now at 21:37 and 31 seconds. Did the front lights go out at that point?
Yes, they did.
And again, is there any way to know whether that was initiated by a human versus light sensors?
No.
Right, very good. Moving on to states 465I. And the timestamp we'll start it is 21:43 and 49 seconds. While it's difficult to see, can you see some movement on the street?
Yes.
Okay, and can you back it up just a few seconds there to 21:44 and 01, if you'll point out the duration in which you see someone walking on the street being Verbena.
The movement is here in this area, and it's a person that travels down. The most extent of that travel is just about here, and then reverses course. Is now seen moving back up the roadway in basically a northern direction.
Right,
and here's the extent of the movement pretty much out here.
Whoops. We'll stop that video at 21:44 and 38 seconds. I'm sorry, 38 seconds. All right, next we will look at states 465. Okay, I'm sorry, L. We're going to start that at 21:52 and 0 seconds. And if you will point out when you start to see some of that movement on the screen.
There. I apologize, but I need to be able to see this screen.
That's okay.
In order to depict what I'm seeing, because on this screen it's even more difficult.
Okay.
So the smaller the image, and the ability to overcome the challenges with the setup of this camera are difficult. The movement is here, and it will continue around this corner, and it is the most difficult of all these images to see movement. But it is a person moving around this corner of the shrubbery, but because it is my belief they are so close to the shrubbery that the camera is having difficulty determining between what is movement and what is just the shrubbery. Because in a nighttime, if this were daylight, we would see it easily. But with these low light conditions and the distance, it's basically just like ghosting. But you will see movement that comes around this corner very tight onto the shrubbery.
There you go, we'll continue on. Now at the bottom of the screen here, we start seeing a person that's more visible. Where is that person coming from?
So that is the homeowner for 50/50 Ruby.
Okay.
And he is has exited his residence to walk his dog. He'll be briefly in this area to pass his wife, who comes out with a second dog
Okay.
for the same purpose.
Okay.
And then they enter their home.
Very good, thank you. As this is continuing to play, will we ever see any lighting coming from the Hicks's residence on this clip?
Do not recall if this clip goes far enough into 2155 for the back lights, but it is around that time that back lights are illuminated. I just don't recall if it's on this clip or not.
I know we've gone a few seconds kind of past it at this point, but what is the hour and minute that we now see the backyard floodlights illuminated?
21:55 and 43 seconds is where we're stopped. Just a couple of seconds prior to that is when the backyard lights illuminated.
All right, and we'll play this till the end. And then, what is the timestamp in which those backyard floodlights turn on?
21:55 and 52 or 3 seconds.
Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and play out the rest of the video. All right, next, looking at 465N, slightly out of order, but in chronological order. So we'll play 465N. What is the timestamp at the start of this video clip from 50/50 Bermuda?
22:10 and 1 second.
Okay. And do you see any lighting in this video?
We do currently, and we will. The floodlight for the driveway and the walkway to the front door area is illuminated. And we will see the backyard floodlights come on again and see movement back there.
Okay. We'll go ahead and play the entire clip.
Did you, again, I didn't know if from earlier you had wanted me to.
Yes, so we'll go back just a few seconds here at 22:10 and 07 seconds.
Okay.
So what is the timestamp when they first turn on?
22:10:08.
Okay, and then if you will, use the pointer to show the movement that is seen, the movement and shadows that can be depicted from this area.
So in this area, we see movement away from the residence, and I believe it depicts a person moving away from the residence at this point, 22:10 and 17-18 seconds.
And that is the entirety of the clip. Now, detective, between 21:55 hours and 22:10 hours, when we see those black back floodlights turned on, is there any other point in time within that 15 minutes that they come on?
The back floodlights do not.
Okay. So just because we skipped that chunk of time, was there anything significant in terms of backyard activity between 21:55 and 22:10?
Not in my review.
All right, next we will play 465M. And just to remind the court, this clip labeled M, what residence are we looking at?
This is 581 Delphinium Boulevard. And this is the driveway to the residence, which is actually their address, their physical home address is Delphinium, but their Dahlia Way is where their driveway comes off.
And on the very upper left quadrant, what is the major roadway? Not major, but the other roadway that's depicted as, in addition to
This
Dahlia.
is Delphinium
Okay, very good.
Boulevard, and this is Dahlia Way.
Okay, very good. So we'll play the entirety of clip M. During those two different angles from the 581 Delphinium, are you able to see Lanz's vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, and are you able to see the headlight stamp, certainly from the view looking straight onto Delphinium?
The headlight signature is visible, and that's why I believe it is the Lanz vehicle.
And just to start the clip again briefly, what is the hour and minute? We don't need the seconds, but at least the hour and minute that we see Mr. Lanz's vehicle passing on Delphinium.
2211.
Okay, which is 10:11 p.m.
It is 10:11 on this system, yes. PM.
Now I want to go to State 565. Oh, what are we about to watch in States 565-0?
Interestingly, just a short time after we had seen the movement in the backyard of this residence, there's a vehicle that arrives on the street. This is that SUV arriving, and we later were able to determine that this was a package delivery. The delivery driver exits the driver's side, goes around the passenger side, and makes a delivery to the porch area where we see the illumination of the infrared illuminator for the Nest lighting, which gave me the reference for a known occurrence of a delivery. And that was where that package was left, so we know that that would trigger that infrared illuminator.
Okay, very good. And if you will, please, as we see this delivery person exit the vehicle and walk around to the side porch area as you described, if you can assist by using your pointer.
Certainly. Pointers likely not indicated because the driver, you'll see, is illuminating at their feet with their flashlight, probably on their phone, walking around past the garage doors up to a walkway leading to a porch area where there is a dual entrance, a side entrance to the home.
Okay, now I'm going to pause it at 22:17:16. What else do you see in this clip here?
We get an indication here of a known triggering of the infrared lighting. The Nest camera that was not live, was not recording, but was in fact live.
And we will look at some screenshots of this in a moment, but let's play this through till the end. All right, now, prior to taking stand, did you also look at a folder labeled Nest IR with a state's exhibit number of 481?
Yes, I did.
All right, and does that contain 3 separate images that you created based off this surveillance footage at 50/50 Delphinium? 50/50 Verbena?
Yes, it does.
Okay, are those fair and accurate screenshots, 2 screenshots as well as an overlay of those 2 images for purposes of looking at the infrared camera?
Yes.
State moves to tender State's Exhibit 481 in evidence.
Any objection? States 481 is admitted.
So I first want to start with may I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. 481C, since we just looked at that here, is this a screenshot from the video we just watched, which was states 465.0?
It is.
And is the infrared camera illuminated?
Well, the illuminator, the infrared illuminator has been triggered. At this point, you can actually see the position of the driver, the delivery person, by the use of their flashlight or their phone screen.
Okay, so if you can, just so that it's clear, can you show which one the infrared illuminator is compared
Yes.
to the cell phone?
The infrared illuminator is here, the higher positioned light source.
Alright, and then the lower one here where my mouse is that the cell phone?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now looking at states 481A, what is the timestamp of this screenshot?
21:32 and 24 seconds, or 9:32:24 p.m.
Is this a screenshot from one of the clips we previously watched in states 465?
It is from November 17th, 2021.
And if you can point out that infrared indicator.
Certainly. This is an indication that the Nest camera's infrared illuminator has been triggered at this point.
So now looking at states 481B, what have you done with this image to further show visually what you determined?
So this is just to give a base image, which is the still from earlier, 21:32, I believe it was in 24 seconds, is the base image here, and then overlaying over that image digitally, such that we can then see the known image of the delivery person making the delivery, and see that the infrared illuminator is in the exact same position. There's no issue, but you can tell that the delivery vehicle is actually kind of almost ghosted into the image because they are overlaying, showing two different moments in time, but that the illuminator is in fact operating both times, and we know where that delivery person dropped the package, so we know that's what triggers. That's how close you need to be to trigger that infrared illuminator.
And so based on that, were you able to determine whether a person was in the area of that Nest camera that's on the sideboard store at 21:32 hours?
I believe that this image and the overlay does accomplish that by showing that in fact there was someone in that area, even though it's very difficult to see in the images that we saw, or the video that we watched. It's difficult to see someone rounding the corner, but when we see that illuminator, we know in fact someone was there.
So Detective, based on all of this and all of these videos combined in your analysis, what is your best estimate as to when these murders occurred?
I would say they occurred between the hour of the time of 21 and 55 minutes, 9:55 p.m. to the point at which we see someone moving away from the residence. In the flat back, floodlights are illuminated at 10:10 and some seconds.
So between 9:55 and 10:10 p.m.
I believe so, yes.
And when was it that you first saw the Lanz's vehicle on Verbena Drive?
At 21:20 hours.
Is that 9:20 p.m.?
It is 9:20 p.m.
And then when is it best you can tell from this footage and some of that overlay that you see a human on the Hicks's property?
When I first see that,
Yes.
at 21:31 or 9:31 during that minute time span.
And so from 9:31 p.m. when you first see a human on a Hicks's property, how many minutes is it until that 9:55 time frame or marker?
24 minutes or so.
And then what is the time difference between when you see the floodlights triggered between 9:55 p.m. and then when you see them triggered for the last time at 10:10 p.m.
I think if you look at the seconds, it's a little less than 15 minutes.
And just so the court is clear here, after that 10:10 p.m. time, did you ever see those rear floodlights triggered before sunlight?
No.
Just a moment here. So that final time that you ever saw the rear floodlights triggered at 10:10 p.m., what time did you then see the Lanz's vehicle fleeing or leaving the area?
That vehicle was captured on that video, 581 Delphinium Boulevard at 10:11 and some seconds.
Is it possible to get from the Hicks's and Lanz's residence by vehicle from 10:10 p.m. to 10:11 p.m.?
Absolutely.
I think that's all that I have. Thank you.